Oh, didn't see you there. I was just playing my Nintendo Switch 2, which you might notice has 0 accessories on it. That's because we're testing 1-star accessories one more time. And some of them are absolutely insane. Let's get started. Tablet stand for Nintendo Switch. Let's look at some reviews. Maxwell says, can't even hold a phone. Don't buy. What in the world is holding a phone? Maybe I don't want to know. Bought this for my fairly small drawing tablet and tested it out initially with my phone, only to see it immediately and rapidly fall down, even after I correctly and tightly installed everything. Do not buy. So first of all, I gotta just say, yes, this is a Nintendo Switch 2 accessory. However, it's a little bit different because I guess this one can also work with other devices. Regardless, let's keep looking. Lyndon Sanch says, broke with minimal force. The plastic piece for the ball joint broke, so now the tablet sags down. So regardless, looks like this just doesn't work. But let's open it up and test it out. Yeesh. I saw this accessory and I'm like, that is so cool. Essentially, this thing can hang on your bed frame and you can play your Nintendo Switch 2 while it's hanging over top of you and you just have the controllers in your hand. That is so handy. It's kind of like my mic thing right here. And that works good. All right, let's see. We got this thing. Oh. And then we got this thing, which screws it on to the bed. Problem number 1, I'm not laying on a bed, but I will fix that right now. So I'm gonna pretty much unscrew this. Hello, Kirby. So far, so good. I got my Nintendo Switch. Let me take off the Joy-Con 2s here. And, oh, I'm gonna drop it. Moment of truth. I think it's working. Okay, that's actually not bad. Let me actually see if I can get it a little closer. Brain rot mode. I got the couch arm on my neck. I'm just honestly vibing out. Wait a second. That's actually pretty good. All right, let me show you what I'm seeing right now. It's like pretty close, but you know what? I think this might be one of the best accessories we have. Like just the fact that you can just like kind of chill out with your Joy-Con here. Who needs a TV if you can just do this? The only thing that's pretty bad about it, I'd say, is the fact that you might not be able to charge it. I'm not gonna give it full 5 stars, but I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not gonna lie. It's goated. Next up, another mouse accessory. I honestly feel like these mouse accessories are all the exact same every single time, but this one has a unique problem with it. Let's look. Let's look at some of these reviews. Bernardo says, don't buy! It doesn't fit the Joy-Cons. They clearly designed without testing it with the real Joy-Con 2, and it's not the right size. Check my photo and video. Fox says, uncomfortable and pointless. Bro came here from the stars to tell me that. Star Fox. When I saw this, I thought it was a great deal, and in theory, it still is. Is it or not? It's just that this particular product is very bad design. It offers no comfort whatsoever. It doesn't match the height or profile of the Joy-Cons at all, so you can't comfortably hold it with a palm grip. And there is no real place to put your fingers and thumbs, so a claw grip doesn't really work either. I found no matter how I held it, it was still just more comfortable to hold the Joy-Con and mouse configuration without any plastic bulk added on. Alright, Fox, I'll have to see if it's even pointless or if it's useful at all. And finally, from Fizimo, avoid! I didn't think they fit at first, but they're ridiculously snug, so I really don't trust them. I found using them more awkward than not. So it seems to me that people have had issues with these mouse grips not fitting, but I'll be the judge of that. I've tested many mouse grips in my day. Here are just a few, and all of them have some sort of problem. Ugh. All right, there's already one major problem with these that I can tell without even using them, but let's do it anyways and see how we feel. First of all, do they fit? Yeah, they don't really fit unless you do this. I wonder if I made any scuffs on this. I'm sure I did. I think we know exactly what game I need to test this in. Oh, yes. Guys, I actually like Drag and Drive so much. But yeah, these are not very helpful. Anyways, the biggest problem for this is that it has no palm rest. Whereas, you know, you use an actual mouse and my palm actually has somewhere to rest. Here it's just wide open, which means that my palm is just like in a weird position. And I can't even touch the face buttons easy or the analog stick easy. But worst of all is the fact that you have to jam these in to even get them to fit, which actually makes me concerned for taking them out. And they're probably scuffed, so let's see. they're a little scuffed. You can kind of see on there how rough it actually is. Yeah, it's just a little tiny bit scuffed. So I'd probably avoid these because of that. I gotta say, if you're using it in Fortnite, it's probably still a little bit better than just using the bare naked Joy-Con. There are just better mouse accessories that I could find. The reviews that said these didn't fit are busted. That's not true, they do fit. But the reviews that said that they were uncomfortable, those are valid. So I'll give it like a 2 stars. But all right, let's move on. But before we look at more accessories, let's look at more accessories. Because this video is sponsored by Genki! Genki is one of the best Nintendo Switch 2 accessory manufacturers there is. There's a reason we've never seen them in one of these 1-star accessory reviews before. Just saying, their accessories are not 1-star. They're epic. Like their carrying case, it can store a bunch of games and it'll protect your Switch from every single thing. Watch this. Not even a dent. Now, by far my favorite accessory is their Joy-Con grip. It comes with 2 grips and a charging stand so that after you've used the grip, you can literally just put them back on the charging stand and they're charging. It also feels really nice. And unlike other Joy-Con grips that I've used, the magnets are actually strong. Like, look at this. It is on there tight. They also have a screen protector because I really think that you should have a screen protector on your $500 console. Just saying. And it even comes with 2 for when I inevitably break the first one. They even have these mimic chests is what they're called. And pretty much you can put multiple Switch games in here instead of needing to carry around just one case. It looks just like a Switch 2 case as well, so you can put any box art that you just like from another game into this one. They even have grips that you can keep on the Nintendo Switch 2, like this one. The Force Field 2. It's easy to put your Switch 2 in, and if you don't want to carry in case, you can just add this front cover. They also have the Attack Vector, which allow you to change grip sizes and looks fine as heck. The best part about both of these grips is the fact that they're both dockable, which is very rare with a full-size grip like this. So check them out, first link in the description. Thanks again to Genki for sponsoring the video. Now back to some other accessories. Next up, the Nintendo Switch Touch Pen. Now this is actually official. This is an official Nintendo accessory imported from Japan, and it's literally a pen that Nintendo sells for the touchscreen. I don't exactly know what this would be used for, if there's a specific game in mind that they had, but here it is. It's for the Switch 1, but I'm sure it can be used on the Switch 2. This is weird. It's kind of crazy that Nintendo made this and it's not like a widely known thing. This gives me like DS stylus vibes. So it's kind of interesting. As we all know, you can't actually touch the Nintendo Switch with anything else aside from your finger. It uses your finger to kind of tell what's on the screen, or at least I think that's how it works. And you can see that with this, it's kind of trying to mimic a fingerprint. It's even got a little Nintendo logo on it. That's pretty cool. Let's see if it works. Yep. It works. It actually works really well. For some reason, I expected it to not really work super well, but this is smooth actually. Yo, what the heck? These games went from $80 to $85. Are you kidding me? Well, if you want to hear me talk about that, you can actually check out my brand new second channel. It's so much fun. You should actually go check it out after this video is done. I've got a ton of videos on a second channel, and it's pretty much my take on some drama, some new third-party games that I might not talk about on this channel. So if you like what I'm doing here, I do even more videos unfiltered on my second channel, so please check it out after this if you want. And hey, when you go to the other channel, tell myself in the comments that you were sent from this one. I'd love to know who actually made it over there. But let's look at some of the reviews. Winnie says, with touchscreen issues, not worth the price. I got this because it was a Nintendo brand, and I thought it'd be better than other no-brand ones. I used it for my Switch and felt that it was not really sensitive, and I had to press hard for the Switch to recognize the touch. I thought it's normal since it's one Nintendo designed for Switch. What does that even mean? Until recently, I got a similar pen, but at 1/5 of its price, and used it with the Switch. That totally changed my experience. I didn't have to push so hard anymore, and it felt more like a touchscreen pen. I feel this one is not worth the price. Okay, but it's also only like 15 bucks. This isn't that bad, right? Killian says, damaged on arrival. Arrived damage. The tip was topped. This was not damaged on arrival. The tip was not topped. So that review is busted, Killian, I'm sorry. Winnie, I didn't find it to be that hard to use. I actually found it pretty useful. It actually feels like my finger. Maybe you got a dot, so I'm sorry, but your review is busted. Overall though, I think I'm gonna give this touch pen 5 stars. It does everything it's trying to do. It's a high quality pen and it says Nintendo on it. I think it's also a fun little unique part of Nintendo Switch accessory history. 5 stars. All right, on to the next one. Next up, necklace cell phone support. Now I know what you're thinking. The Nintendo Switch isn't a cell phone. I know. But a lot of people said that this is useful for their Nintendo Switch 2, and I think it might be. And I'll tell you why, but first, let's read some reviews. Jasmine says, please don't waste your money. I bought it and really regret it. RS Canada says, cheap, broken on delivery. Product arrived in a mangled box and was broken. And you know what? Based on the box we got, before even opening this, it's pretty accurate. That is a valid review. Let's hope that it's not broken on the inside. Nikki M says, defective out of the box. Had to connect the springs myself for it to even work. Poor quality. A lot of people have had issues with this, just, you know, having it be broken and everything. But I think there's a lot of potential with this. As we know, based on the first accessory we saw, I like being lazy. In fact, a lot of people call this the lazy mount. As we can see on the box, this girl is literally just chilling, watching her cell phone. She doesn't have a single care in the world. It's also good for video tutorials, vlogging, long flights, and working out. That'd be extremely difficult to use while working out. And then we got this, you know, this lady just absolutely vibing with it. So I literally just put it over my neck. There must be like a wire on the inside. First of all, does it even fit the Nintendo Switch 2? Oh, it doesn't. Oh no. Oh, wait, hold on. It's not quite snug, but I think if we do it from top to bottom, it would work. Oh, look, there's a piece of foam for the back. Man, wouldn't I love to be lifting weights right now? I think it's a little too heavy and it's like wobbling. Let me see if it works on a Switch 1. Oh, it doesn't quite fit, but I think that'll do. It's like wobbling weird. Oh my gosh, the display on the Switch 1 is so much worse. How did I play this for 8 entire years? It has this wobble and it's kind of making me feel a little motion sick, to be honest. Oh, it's also hurting my neck a little bit. This works, I guess, but is not comfortable. It was also kind of expensive. I gotta give this 2 stars. I feel yucky. And next up, one of the biggest accessories I've ever bought. Also, I think this is probably the most expensive one I've ever bought. Let me just show you, because it's kind of insane. I've seen this so many times when I've been looking for these accessories, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to buy it. I just needed to. Let's get it. The Piranha plant dock. Yes! This one isn't just a charging dock. It's an actual dock that you can use to output to your TV or display. And look at this, it even says 4K, which means to me that you can use the Switch 2 on it because the Switch 1 can't output 4K. So we gotta open it up, but first, we gotta see some reviews. Polchok says, does not work as intended. Every time I plug it into a US outlet, it causes the outlet to no longer have power. Switch never charged after making sure unit was plugged in and docking. Controller charging area worked, and that's about it. Never bothered trying to connect and play through the TV, since it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Waste of money for what is now a Piranha plant statue. So are you telling me that this thing will fry any outlet I put it into? Challenge accepted. And Amazon customer says, doesn't work. Dock will not charge or connect Switch to the TV. Eddie says, it does not connect to the TV, and it does not turn on nightlight in the plant's mouth. Oh wait, can it actually do that? So we've got some interesting reviews to test. Let's open it up. First of all, as I mentioned before, this can output 4K apparently. And it seems like this Piranha plant can light up and has 2 charging ports for the Nintendo Switch. I'm curious to know if that's for Switch 1 or the Switch 2. Unfortunately, I think it's for the Switch 1. On the back, it shows a phone, 2 power bricks, and then 2 Lego bricks, as well as a Nintendo Switch in the mouth. So it's a pretty cool premise. Let's open it up. Here we go. I hope I didn't waste my money. Oh, that's massive. That is so big. Wait, does it not come with a power cord? Oh my gosh, it doesn't come with a power cord. Ladies and gentlemen, we get absolutely rocked. We're just gonna have to YOLO it. Oh, it's heavy. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. Let's investigate. Okay, so it can move its arms. We got 2 Nintendo Switch. I don't think Switch 2. Yeah, no, this is for the Switch 1. Oh, hey, you know what? That connects pretty well. We got our ports, USB-C, USB-A, and the HDMI. So I think without further ado, let's plug it in. I use the power outlet from the Switch 2 dock. And we'll plug it in here. I don't think anything really changed. And then we will plug it in. Boom. All right, plugging in the Nintendo Switch 2 right now. Dang it, I don't think it docks the Switch 2. 4K, it's busted. You can't do 4K. We'll just have to do the Switch 1. And we dock. Hey! It works. All right, first of all, we can see that it's charging. So that review is already busted. Also, the power, it's powering because it's docking. So that review is also busted. But apparently this has a light. Oh, it is. It is lit. So that review is also busted. All right, and finally we gotta test these little baby arms. Do they charge? Yes, they do. There's even a little light indicator. This is quite a flashy Nintendo Switch dock. Very disappointed that it's at 4K because obviously this doesn't support 4K. In fact, it can't. This could also potentially brick your Switch because apparently third-party docks can do that. But you know what? This is looking good so far. I don't think that it's actually possible to shut off the light. So if you didn't want the light on there, then you're practically cooked. Kind of sucks I can't use my Switch 2, but it is what it is. I think a potential problem is the fact that, you know, this is almost too big. You can't just put this on a TV stand like in your living room. It's not sleek enough. It's not small. It is so massive. And this is actually $100. So at least it's cheaper than an actual official Nintendo Switch dock. But I mean, still, I probably just wouldn't trust it because it's not a first party Nintendo Switch dock. And I don't want my Switch to break. It's a fun little toy. And if you need a dock and you don't care about the space, maybe it's in a kid's video game room or something, I don't know. Then boom, it works. 3 stars. Have you used any of these Nintendo Switch accessories? And which one is your favorite? Once again, check out my second channel. We got lots of content there. And hey, consider liking and subscribing and becoming a channel member. You get videos early and your name at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. See you later.